Welcome to Wednesday's Words of Wisdom from the farm. And today I want to talk about pressure. And you know, looking at the pot on the stove, those slow cookers, those pressure cookers, seeing the pot full of sweet corn in the summer and that steam just building and cooking, I love it. But sometimes pressure in our lives isn't so good. I mean, a good pressure release for me is the big back massager right through the shoulder blades. When I was a kid, smelling those fresh bread buns or tea biscuits or waffles my mom would make from scratch, that would relieve any pressure. But you know, I remember as a kid in grade 2 going through pressure daily, and it was like I felt like a pressure cooker every day when I came home from school. See, I had a teacher, and she was an old school teacher, and she liked to yell, and she would get upset at the kids, and in fact the kids were afraid of her, and she was always really nice to me, and she always really liked me, and I was as best behaved as I could possibly be. But there were some kids that set her off, and she had a nickname, and they called her last name rhymed with something, so they called her that, and it was pretty disrespectful, never to her face. But every day I would come home from school and I would have cramps in my stomach because I felt the pressure of her being upset and giving the heat to the other kids. I want to read for you a couple scriptures here. In Psalms 4 verse 1, this is David speaking, "When I call to you, answer me, O God of my righteousness. In pressure thou hast enlarged me." Isn't that incredible that when we feel that pressure, the Lord can enlarge us to face that, whatever you're going through. In 2 Corinthians 4, 8-10, it says, "We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed." When I see that line, struck down, but not destroyed, I think of this young lady that I saw on America's Got Talent. She came up, beautiful young lady with a beautiful voice, and she started to talk, and she said, "I'm going to sing a song that I wrote, and I've actually got a 2% chance of living. I've got advanced stages of cancer right now, and they say 2% chance, but that's okay because I've got a 2% chance." And as she sang about what she's going through, it was hard to fight off the tears because she was going through incredible pressure. She actually came all alone to the audition and everything. It was unbelievable. But when they talked to her after, her quote moved us all. She said, "You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy." You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. Incredible. She's got pressure on every side, yet she chooses to be happy. Well, going back to that story of that classroom, there was one particular day that I came home from school without the stomach aches. And I remember she yelled, there was this little kid in her class, and I was small, but this kid was smaller than me, and his name was Jason. He only came to our school for a couple of years. And she said, "Jason, you!" And she said, "You do this, you do this, you do this." And Jason stood up, he cocked his head to both sides, and he said, "Make me." And then he proceeded to call her the nickname that they gave her that rhymed with her last name that was really nasty. And she took off down the aisle in the classroom, and he went up. He was like a gazelle going up and down those rows, and she couldn't catch him. And finally she started to knock over desks here and there, reaching for him. And some of the kids started to laugh. I didn't dare laugh because I'd be done. I was too afraid. But all of a sudden, Jason ran to the very front corner of the room. There was a big black piano in the corner, and he darted in behind it. Well, she darted right in behind to catch him, and she's reaching for him, and he came out the other side from the back of the piano and wall, and she got caught by her hips. And Jason sees his opportunity. She's behind the piano still yelling. The laughter in the class got bigger and bigger because she was caught and she couldn't see the kids. I still didn't dare laugh. I was not going to laugh. And Jason stood back and he looked around and realized, this is my opportunity to get even with this person. And he got to the far end of the classroom, ran, and he frog splashed all 50 or 60 pounds of him. He was so little, frog splashing, pinching her behind the piano. She darted her head up from behind the piano and yelled, and he knew it was on. He beelined out of the classroom. She chased, got out from behind the piano, chased him. We heard the door by the principal's office, the front doors of the school, swing open and shut. We never saw Jason for 3 days. I actually thought that she did something to him, but she didn't. He got suspended for 3 days, and he didn't stick around Brighton for very much longer. But I want to say, that was pressure that I allowed to overtake me. And just like we read in the Bible, we realize that the Lord, in the midst when we feel pressure, he enlarges us to face the pressure that we're going through. Just like that young lady that sang on America's Got Talent. So whatever you're going through, don't allow that pressure to overtake you. Allow the Lord to enlarge you. And that has been Wednesday's Words of Wisdom from the Farm. Take care. God bless.